So it's been a pretty slow week. The market's been kind of choppy, especially with the small caps. So there hasn't been that much opportunity yesterday and today. One of the only tickers I traded today was Slack Technology. The company said after hours yesterday that they are not updating the Q4 guidance at this time in response to a Business Insider article about a potential new IBM partnership. But the company also said that IBM has been its largest customer for several years, so it's basically just fake news. So the stock actually gapped down overnight. So today I'm just playing the technical bounce on that. Never gotten to full size on this position because I was just purely playing the momentum squeeze, and I was trying to watch a few other stocks at the same time. So just a tiny win on this one. Made about 60 cents average. Second trade on the day is a ticker I'm very familiar with, SPCE. So I actually swung this one overnight. If you've seen my buy overnight strategy video, this kind of daily chart is exactly what I was talking about. So I took it long around 2030s near the end of the day on Monday, and I sold it into the morning gap up and the spike at the open into 2160s. So not a bad $50, $30 move on that. So this is me selling the overnight swing, and this is where I got in for the day trade. I was actually looking for a lot higher. I was looking for an all-day trend to the upside, but there was a lot of selling around this $22 mark, and that's where the stock got rejected, and we just broke down VWAP. So you can see I sold some here, locking in some partial, and I tried to add back into full size and got stopped out here, and I was all out on this. So I did give back some on this cut loss with the day trade. And one final scalp near the end of the day. Again, it's been an extremely slow day. I was literally just sitting on my hands all day waiting for opportunities. Another familiar ticker from last week. So another update on the Muddy Waters short report tweet came out on Twitter. But again, this is not brand news. So PR or brand new tweet is just a follow-up. So that's why I was thinking this is just an overreaction. The stock literally tanked from 38.70s to 37.50s. So I was just going in long for a technical bounce. Nothing fancy, nothing, huge. Just trying to, add some smaller winners to the day. It's been a slow day. So I bounced it from 37.60s to 38 and then 38.30s. A pretty choppy week so far. On days like this is where we all need to be pretty nimble and to be selective with the kind of setups that we take. So first of all, let's talk about the trades that I forgot to record yesterday. So let's talk about the stock CAN. I traded it today, but I also traded it yesterday, but I forgot to record the recap. So this is yesterday, February 12th. Near the end of the day, I waited all day to short. A lot of people actually got squeezed on this on the front side because, it was apparently up too much on blockchain news. The stock went from $5 all the way to $8. For me, I wasn't long it, but I was actually looking to short it near the end of the day after the top has been set. So you can see on my execution here, I waited for the top to set before trying to attack it short. So I have a set top to risk off. And I was shorting after the breakdown of around $8 over here and added to confirmation and then covering into the washes. And I got stopped out on the final piece around $8. The reason I'm really conservative on this kind of day one short is because, it's not my typical setup to short a stock like this. And with this kind of float, I believe I have 40 million shares float. It's a couple billion market cap, so it's definitely not a penny stock. But the way it was trading, and it was really trapping and grinding up all day, and the squeeze near the end of the day kind of acted like a low float penny stock. But I also traded it today, as you can see. I waited for the gap down pre-market. I actually was long biased first because, I was thinking, okay, they're gonna pull it down to trigger SSR and then trying to squeeze it back and to retest yesterday's highs before dumping. And that's why I longed it here and actually cut my loss really quickly and then flip short over here after seeing that we are indeed rejecting the 720s area, which is a key level I've drawn out from the daily chart. So after the breakdown, I scaled in short here and added into full size and was covering into all the washes. And of course, I did not catch the bottom, but hey, I was covering into the hard pulls towards the support level, and at this part, I just got stopped out. So a nice little gainer on the day. The other one I also traded today was LK. You see me do this time and again. I'm just buying extended sell-off towards support level. And it was selling off and there was no news that justify this, and I was just literally just buying the little bounce. Actually, this is where I heard Benzinga telling there's a 13G passive stake release in LK, so that's why I was loaning this, just doing this for a technical bounce, nothing huge here. The other one was a loser, but I'm really proud of it because of the way I cut my loss. You can see I was shorting this coronavirus sympathy stock. The reason I was shorting this is because INO in the past, if you see the daily chart, this stock had a history of gapping up and selling off the entire gap up really quickly at the open. You can go in and see the intraday charts. But for me, that's why I went in short. You can see I shorted here and scaled it in even more at the retest of the VWAP level. And this is where I was thinking that this stock should just sell off right away like it did a couple weeks ago in the past. And also at the same time, other stocks like APT, NMVC, you can see all these coronavirus sympathy plays, they all sold off. And you can see NMVC did the same thing. And that's why I was thinking INO was gonna do the same. But always have a stop. It doesn't matter how right I think I am. If the market can always prove me wrong really quickly, and that's why it's very important to have a stop and use a hard stop, because that's what's gonna ensure that you actually get out. Imagine if I didn't stop out with a hard stop, I would have gotten squeezed all the way up to 390s. That would have been, instead of taking this 5-cent loss, that would have, be like 50-cent loss or something, and that would not be fun. So, always have a plan and always have a stop and follow that stop. If you're hit, just take the loss and move on. So that's today. And this, like a couple more trades I forgot about yesterday. So I actually forgot to record my trade on DTSS yesterday. It was actually one of the biggest winner on the day yesterday on February 12th. I was shorting pre-market, started in pre-market and added in bigger after this huge rejection candle. As you can see, the stock tried to go up towards $4 and got really quickly slammed back down. And so that's where I scaled in at the starter size right here, really small. And after seeing this hard rejection, that means there's a lot of sellers in the stock. And there's a lot of hidden sellers on tape as well. And the price action, if you were looking at the way the candle was trading, it was extremely heavy. And someone was pulling it down. And that's why I re-adding in short at the open. After seeing that hard rejection, I was covering into all the sell-offs. And then I re-added a little bit at this VWAP retest and cover it into the wash here. This is the execution from yesterday. Also, something very interesting that I was looking at is that LK, I traded this one yesterday on February 12th. You can see that my execution and the levels are almost exactly the same as my executions today on Thursday. So this just goes to show you that you can, trade the same stock and be very familiar with how it trades and make money time and again just trading the same thing. You don't have to be chasing the biggest runners or the biggest gainers every single, morning. And you can just, have one or two stocks like you're familiar with. In this case, I'm very familiar with LK, and I traded this stock probably, 2 or 3 times this week. You can see like I was loaning all the way down here yesterday and selling into 37.60s right here. And today I was buying around 37.30s and selling into $38. So, it's exactly the same execution, the same technical setup on LK. As usual, let's talk about the loser on the day first. I was actually down a lot more on this stock, BTAI. I managed to flip the other side and made a lot of the loss back. But overall, I'm still red on this name. So let's talk about it. So this stock was actually gapping up on a potential upgrade. It's just an upgrade rumor. And, there was no other firm catalyst. It's just an upgrade. So it was gapping up from $24 to, $40. But the stock does have an extremely low float of 6 million shares and the market cap is 430 million. So with this kind of stock and this kind of chart breaking out to all-time highs, I just want to join the trend. I was actually more bullish on this when pre-market. I was thinking, okay, we are going to get a squeeze right at the market open, breaking above the pre-market highs and squeeze up to, I don't know, maybe $50, $60. And when at this hard rejection, that's where I was seeing a lot of selling showing on the tape. And that's why I scaled in short, and you can see actually got stopped out on the short. I flipped long for a little bit, just seeing that this volume bar came out. But that turned out to be a fake out. So I also got stopped out on the long side as well. So at this point, I already took a loss on the short and also a loss on the long. But after this hard rejection, that's where it gave me the confirmation that this indeed has a lot of sellers trying to get out of the stock after the stock was pumped up by, an upgrade overnight. So that's why I scale back in short over here, covering into the sell-offs and then adding onto any pops towards the VWAP. And this is where I got a little bit nervous, just trimming some of my size because we're starting to hold VWAP level. Trimming some size, but added back in at this hard rejection once again. A lot of selling in these few candles here. This is what I call adding into a winner. Yes, I already took 2 losses on both the short side and the long side, but none of those were to full size. Yes, they still hurt. You can see like this is like a couple dollars loss, even on a smaller size. That's still not good, right? But the key is to add to full size and adding into a winner once the trade is confirmed and starts working. And that's what I was doing. I was adding into all the pops and was covering into the sell-offs and near support level, near this pre-market support around 32, 33 area. And this is where I took everything off. And thank God I did, because this area was literally the bottom. There was some chance that this could gap fill all the way down to $30 and $29. But again, it's Friday. I don't want to outstay my welcome. And even after I went back to re-short this was with a lot smaller size. I covered for like pennies before it and started grinding up again. So I'm all out on this trade. It's not fun taking a loss, of course, but I'm really glad the bias switch near the end still made back a lot of the losses. So the other one is going crazy right now, GNPX. I actually did not think it could go all the way to almost $6. As you can see, I longed the volume squeeze near the open, 350s, and I was all out by 390s. Didn't even catch 220s or 250s or $5. Would have, could have, should have. Hindsight is always 2020. So just a small winner on this one. But I think what happened with this stock is that a lot of people were really complacent shorting it yesterday on this strong green day. It closed really, really strong. And also the shorts were really cheap. So that's why I'm sure a lot of people just hammered it in short. Didn't think it could squeeze all the way to almost $6.